Hi, it's time for another episode of Suburban Sex. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that may or may not actually still occur in a long-term relationship. Flirtation. So, what do you guys think? Does flirtation still happen after a decade of marriage and multiple kids? And is it still occurred? Has it changed? Is it like it was before? What does flirtation look like? So that's kind of what we're going to dive into tonight. It's a topic that I don't think I've ever heard discussed on a podcast, especially a marriage podcast. Maybe on a player's podcast and like how to flirt and get the girl, but you don't necessarily see a lot of podcasts on, hey, here's how to flirt with your spouse of 15 years
Right.
and how to woo her.
Yeah. That's so funny. I don't hear much about it either. But to your question, is it still happening? I feel like if Brad and I were not flirting, we would not be having much sex. I need attention. I'm sure that is a shock for all of you, but I
What kind
like
of attention?
all attention. But I need some wooing and some flirtation. I need a little bit of I need laughter. That's the number one thing for me. If I'm not laughing in my relationship, then there's probably not much of a connection happening. And like a little pat on the ass every once in a while too, and nice things. Brad, you know this.
I know this. Yes. I was gonna say talking. I just thought you wanted me to just talk, like talk all the time, just like
But
never
you make
stop
me
talking.
laugh. You make me laugh, and I need to laugh. That
Yes.
helps with the flirtation.
Sure. Yes. That's correct.
I think some of the
I'm aware of that.
difficulty in the flirting is the fact that you've been doing it for a decade. So you kind of know his moves and what his attention is. Or maybe you're so used to the attention that you just think it's normal and it's not necessarily flirtation.
Yeah. That is absolutely an element that we can't ignore. After so many years together, there's not everything that worked before is going to work now. We know that. But that's part of the reason why we have to do more of the talking like Brad loves. Interacting more with each other I think is helpful, and being playful overall. Not necessarily being playful in the bedroom, although that is helpful too, but for the purpose of the topic of flirting, this is more so outside of the bedroom in order to make things a little bit more warmed up for you in the bedroom. And it's not the same kind of flirting that probably we did when we were dating. It's hard to even remember that.
So how did you guys flirt back in the early stages? And what did that look
Oh my
like back in
gosh.
those days?
Brad, I don't know if you remember much.
I don't think I was a big texter back then. Was
No.
I? Was-
Oh, let me tell you what kind of
Uh-oh.
texter you were. I would write a novel and you'd be like, yeah,
No.
Like,
or nope.
No.
You'd
That
give me a
is.
whole nope, not a no, but you'd give me a
That's
4-letter nope.
that's not
You
accurate.
you were
Not
not
accurate.
you were not a stellar texter. And let me tell you, honey,
stellar
you've not improved either. But that's not how I flirt. Thank God. So that is not part of our repertoire. But we are not sexters or flirty texters very much.
so
So
you
that
are
was not at
not.
the beginning.
Brad, are you a dirty texter, or would you be if she were into it? Was that something you would appreciate?
Wouldn't he be with anything that if I was into it? If I was
I'm
into
into everything dirty. Yes, I'm
yes,
into that.
yes, I could
She is
give
not.
him the most random shit right now that I'd be into, and he'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it, let's try it." He wouldn't even think it's gross.
Look at that
He wouldn't
smile.
worry
He's like,
about it.
yep, that's right.
No.
Remy, do you remember flirting with Reagan like 27 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, like 50,000 years. I mean, back in those days, we didn't have cell phones, so I sent letters via carrier pigeon. No,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
there was more texting, but, I think after 20 years of a relationship, married or kids, you kind of know a lot of the things. I mean, it's not like we stay up all night on the phone talking at
Right.
this stage in life. So
Mm-mm.
naturally, it's going to change. I mean, you think about you're getting to know each other in those early days, and you're kind of
Yeah.
it's like a first date. You're kind of on your best, and you're wanting to impress them. I
Yeah.
think after a while, maybe we stop trying to impress our partner,
Mm.
which may or may not be a good thing. I mean, but
No, it's not a good thing.
it's good to be comfortable, but yet if you stop trying, maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah. No, we've definitely changed in the sense of to your point, when you're early dating, you are more on point, you're trying to impress them and all of that. But I think Brad knows that we have to keep trying. We have to keep flirting with each other and like poking fun at each other or being silly. Like it's kind of got to work with your dynamic, but I don't know. If we stop some of that interaction, so much of our relationship would be ever so different.
I saw some Instagram clip the other day, and it was talking about the barometer of a healthy relationship. If all this therapist guy was saying is he just needs to watch the first 30 seconds and how you greet each other after the end of the day. Do you give each other a kiss? Do you hug? Or are you just barely excited to see each other? Do you kind of ignore each other? What does that look like? And of course, it may be different for you guys if you're both working from home, but you've both been gone all day, or someone's been at home, someone's been gone. When you come back in, what does that look like? And I thought, well, that's interesting.
I think it's interesting, but I've seen some of those Facebook and Instagram posts as well where it's like, this is how I greet my husband. And she like runs to the door and smooches all over him. And I call bullshit. I call absolute bullshit. That is not what real people do on an everyday basis. And yes, you can try to do that because you're filming yourself. Of
True.
course, she knows she's being filmed. She placed the camera to the perfect angle for these moments. No, that is not, and nor do I think that a marriage should be scored based on every single time that you interact with each other, or at the very time that you interact with each other at the end of the day, or what have you. I think all of that, if you try to like sum it up in something so simplistic like that in a marriage of 10 plus years, I just call bullshit on that. That's not real. Now, Brad and I, we work from home both all the time. There are times where I come into his room and we talk about things every once in a while because maybe I need to kind of work something out work wise, or we've got kids stuff to deal with. But for the most part, we don't speak to each other throughout the day. It's like we don't exist.
But you're
Um,
working. I get that. You kind of
but
have to
yeah, we're busy.
make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. But it's not like by the end of the day, we're like, ooh, oh my God, baby, I miss you so much. I want it so bad.
But I bet you can tell if he's happy to see you or not.
No.
No.
Do you know Brad?
I'm always happy to see her.
Of
Oh,
course you are. But you're not expressive. Let's say that.
I I
may-
will
maybe she
I
wants
will
a
do
love letter,
things.
sir.
There will
I,
be clues.
I'm not even saying I need it. I'm just saying Brad is not an expressive person, and I am super busy at the end of the day. He's cooking dinner. We've got 3 kids we're trying to wrangle. So, it's by the end of the day when we do come back into the same room, it is not always going to be let's smooch it out and give a big hug and make sure that Instagram knows that we love each other. I
Yeah.
I, I don't think that that's necessary. Now, should we take the effort? Yes, we absolutely should. When we're feeling stressed or like it's been a tough day, or I've missed you. Like when you think any of those things in your head, some physical touch is probably good for you, good for both
Yeah.
of you. So like a hug, a kiss, a pat on the ass, hand on the shoulder, whatever it is, that interaction does help me by the end of the day, but it's not necessarily like what I would deem as successful, you know?
Yeah, but you got to go back to love languages too. I mean, some people, you give them a long, meaningful hug, that'll mean a lot. Other people, man, they just want you to say something nice. They've had a long day and they just need some encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
Two different
Yeah.
people, but you got to know your partner. And if you're not trying to actively know your partner, then, you're not going to be good
Yeah.
at figuring out what they need.
Right.
So Remy, you're in the office every day. When you come home, what's y'all's thing?
Ooh, start videotaping it.
Start
Then-
videotaping it. Live videos. Well, we don't do a lot of the social media posts for, anything like that. However, I do know, when I first started my job, she was or if she's not working, she will come give me a big hug when I get home, and she will be a lot more, just because she's had a more chill day. Now, when she's had a long, stressful day, sometimes she's still working by the time I get home.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, she'll come in and just kind of fall in the bed because she's tired, which it happens. I mean, so maybe that's not the best barometer per IG guy, but
Yeah.
it's just the little things sometimes I think that, not to say that there's one in particular, but a lot of times flirtation and later in a marriage, it's more the soft things. It's like, are you kind? Are you patient? Do you fly off the handle and lose your shit over just the smallest thing?
Yeah.
It kind of tells the barometer of where you're at emotionally. Are you emotionally connected? Are you understanding?
Last weekend we had one of those moments, but I don't really consider that flirting. But we were in the hot tub, obviously, because I'm married to Hot Tub Brad. And Brad could tell that something was bothering me. And I kept just burying it deep down. I didn't really want to talk about it because whatever it was felt silly. It felt irrelevant. It felt like maybe I'll feel better tomorrow after I've slept on it. And he could tell. I mean, certainly 10 years of marriage will do that to you. But he could absolutely tell. And we're sitting there, we're trying to hang out, we're trying to have a good time. And I'm not angry or anything. I'm just a little aloof. I don't know, Brad. I don't know what the word is that you would express. He's nodding his head. Honey, when you nod your head on a podcast. Okay. But I was very aloof, and after a while he just kind of he forced it out of me. No, I know something's going on. What's bothering you? And when I actually expressed it, and as I'm saying it, I'm like, this feels so dumb. I feel so stupid. It's just I felt so ridiculous for the way I felt at that moment. And he was so kind about it, said, your feelings are valid and you have feelings and that's how you feel. There is nothing wrong with that. And just
Good job,
getting
Hot
it.
Tub.
I know. Oh my God. It's like he should be a therapist.
Textbook response.
Our listeners are going to think that you are a therapist, and you're definitely not. Although you're
More
such a
about
good
how you
listener.
feel.
I'm an amateur gynecologist. I wouldn't say I'm a therapist yet.
That could be your side gig.
He's like, your pH is a little off today. What happened?
No, he'll say it's my BAC. My blood alcohol content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that I would not even consider that flirting, but I'm bringing it up because of what you just said, Remy, and just having that thoughtfulness and balance in a relationship where you feel like you can be, you can trust whatever you throw out there is going to be received in a way that doesn't make you feel stupid and doesn't make you feel ridiculous and all of that. I've been in relationships where I felt so stupid for my feelings or felt small or whatever. And so I feel very, I mean, safe seems like such a bleh word, but it truly is. But again, I don't even see that as flirtation. That was more of a like core moment for how he handles stress and conflict.
Well, she was
Yes.
working the other. Oh, hands up. Go ahead,
Brad's
sir.
hands up. Yes, please.
Remy,
Teacher.
have you ever? When was the last time you sexted Reagan?
Oh my God, you completely changed the topic.
No, but I mean that's a great.
That's what a
thing.
producer does.
I will initiate anytime I'm
Deflection.
out of town, anytime during the day. Sometimes I will attempt, but
Does she respond in a sexting fashion?
I don't think it's her thing. Occasionally, if she's missing me, but I think that she's so busy being mom that doesn't even come up. So, I think in our relationship of late, it's more all business via text rather than business time. There's not a lot of, and I would prefer it to be a little bit more flirty via text, but that's just my preference. And
Yeah.
and I think when we're totally carefree, if we were on vacation, maybe that happened more, but we're together. But with real life happening, it doesn't happen as often as I would prefer.
So the sexting conversation has happened, just
Sure.
not recently.
Exactly.
Honey, we've never sexted.
Really?
Okay, let's define what sexting means because Remy may just be saying like sexy things to each other to like try to rally each other up. It's Brad, you do the same thing. You'll be like,
It's foreplay. It's kind
yeah,
of
you'll
building
do like
the
little foreplay
anticipation,
things.
the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And
We don't
stoke the fire.
sext in a way, but I'm very similar to Reagan.
He doesn't
Sorry,
send you
Brad.
feet pics throughout the day?
I know, damn it. That's all I've been asking for.
Send me a feet.
No, I'm also not into sexting, but if we are separated doing kid stuff or whatever it is, he'll I don't know, you'll send cute little things every once in a while.
I think you would enjoy it if it was
A dick pic?
properly verbose, like a romance
Verbose.
novel.
Yes,
that
the
you're
romance novel. If you
used to
could
reading.
recreate that.
Yeah, just ask ChatGPT. Write me up a quick little romance sext for my wife. Let's see how that works.
Okay,
Honestly,
I think you
everyone
picked
has
up
this
on something here.
free tool here.
It sounds like there's a huge divergence between what the guys would like and what the women would like.
Yeah. I would
So,
like
let's-
to be heard, and my husband would like for me to sext him. This is what I've learned out of this episode so far.
All right, well, let's talk about it. So let's go and we'll talk about what the guys like, and then we'll talk about what the girls like.
Okay.
Who wants to start? Guys or girls?
Boys.
All right, Brad. Do you want to start
We
or
want
should
nude
I?
pictures.
Nude
Naked
pictures. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Addie, are you making a list for all our female
Oh, I'm
listeners?
sorry.
Let's
Yes,
make
let
a
me write this
list of
down.
what the guys are interested in here.
It's going to be a short list for guys.
It doesn't have to just be nude pictures. Flashing works, just like you come home and woo.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, nudity.
Nudity, yes.
We can put that in the bucket of nudity. Okay, so pictures of nudity, flashing.
I'm assuming that's going to be
nudity.
first on your list too when we get to the girls list that you just want to see.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Flash me. I want to see the ass. Mm-hmm. Brad, come on. Let me see it.
She doesn't.
No. All right. So what else?
What else, boys? Or is that the shortest list
No,
we've ever
there's more.
made?
No, any sexual talk is welcome by any man.
Like,
You
I
know?
want your dick, or
Yeah.
come home, make
Yeah,
me.
put it in me, do this
Yeah.
to me. Love when you did this. I want this. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
So guys
Okay.
are wanting verbal too. Because that makes sense to me. Just a different kind of verbal.
Yeah. Okay.
I think one thing on my list would be, I love it when she can anticipate my needs and my wants, whether it's a sandwich or she knows, hey, he needs a hug or he needs some loving. If he needs
It's always
something,
loving.
no,
You
it
don't
can
give a
be
shit about a
multiple
sandwich.
things.
Maybe sometimes he wants a Subway sandwich.
Never a Subway sandwich. But my point is, she's
Bullshit.
thinking of me. But yes, generally it's going to be more on the sexual side to
Yes,
anticipate.
it
Hey,
is.
I may not be horny, but he might want some attention from me. That's just so helpful, you know?
Okay.
I think it's the understanding that's hot for me. Just the fact that
Okay.
it gets where I'm at.
But to be clear, you don't give a shit about a sandwich if she showed up naked.
Absolutely
You'd figure it out.
correct. 100%.
Okay, so it's real cute that you said you
Well, I'm
started
just
with
saying,
sandwich and then you're
she's
like,
thinking of,
or
but
sex.
well, yeah, that's always is more important. I mean, no question.
It's just so different. It's just amazing to me how different men and women are. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
honestly the crux of why we did this in the first place. It shouldn't shock me, but it's so interesting to me.
Men are not that complicated.
I
Women
know.
complicate us, but we're really not. We just
No.
want to be wanted, want to be loved, want to
Side
be
note,
excited about us. That's it.
it's almost impossible to be horny when you're hungry. I don't know if you guys know that. Like,
I
if you're
could
real
do it.
hungry,
Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing
how
else
hungry
you
you
want
are.
to do but eat.
You gotta get that Subway sandwich.
That's right.
Jersey
Knock
Mike's,
that
that'd
out.
be better.
That's right.
Okay.
I haven't had a Subway in a very long time.
What happened to
They're all
Quiznos?
cold.
Yeah,
Quiznos was
is
I haven't
better.
had Quiznos in a while.
Are they still around?
I like Jimmy John's.
Oh yeah, Jimmy John's, Firehouse. I don't know why we're all
Yeah.
sub
Yeah,
experts,
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
just generally do Jersey Mike's. I'm gonna play the game.
Okay, continue. Sandwiches and sex. That's
So-
the title.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Guys just want their partner to be into it, whatever it is. I want you to be excited about the fucking board game. I want you to be excited about hugging me. I want you to be excited about the kiss. I want you to be excited about going to dinner with me. As long as you're excited about me or into whatever we're doing sexually or non-sexually, that means a whole lot more to me than if you're just kind of bored of me.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, so in a 10+ year relationship, that is difficult, right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
not that's tough. And I feel like in many marriages, both the men and women feel that strain because one feels like they're trying too hard, the other one feels like the other one's not trying enough, and it's just this constant battle. But yeah, that's rough.
So, is there something from the woman's perspective that the guy could text you, like hypothetically, guy, not me, of course, but some guy out there who could text his wife
Mm-hmm.
that would, if it was you,
Yes.
would kind of like get the juices flowing.
Got it. I'm in.
Let's say they've been at work all day
Mm-hmm.
and they have a Friday night coming up,
Yeah.
and they're in a good scenario, they would be having sex that night, but most nights they're just going to be in front of the TV.
Yeah. It's like you're speaking from experience. What?
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just like making this
Okay.
up.
Okay. So the sexting flirting piece, I do think for men, it would be lovely if you could send me something sweet first, like I love you, or I know you're working so hard, you're crushing it, you're smashing it, you've kicked ass this week, and then something about how hot one of her body parts is.
You're smashing it, and I want to smash you.
Yeah. Maybe a little cheesy, But maybe more like, man, you're crushing it at work. God, you're so hot. I'm glad it's the weekend where we can just chill and have our own time together. You know,
Okay.
something where it's not super sexual at first. If your relationship is not at that point yet, you can't just dive into the deep end. That's not going to work well for you. You can't just send her a dick pic. Like, she's seen that a million fucking times. So she's going to be like, oh my God, what if someone's next to me right now? What if my child is next to me right now? This is embarrassing. So instead, maybe like warm things up a little bit. That's how I would like it.
So
And I know
That's a
compliments are
good
good.
point, though.
yeah. Just like to not go too far, but like a little bit of a compliment that's outside of the bedroom, and then something that just kind of lightly brushes against the potential bedroom situation, but not necessarily like full force. We're going to have sex tonight, you know? As long as there's no expectation in it, and it's just more of like, you're so hot, you're such a rock star, whatever, you know.
I think that's
That's what
Reagan's
we want to
thing
hear.
too. Is it has to be light and easy. It can't
Yeah.
be anything stressful. She's got enough stress as it is.
Yeah. Adding another thing to add to the list is not great. And certainly I'm sure there's wives out there that are probably like, no, sex me dirty shit. I want to see that dick pic, you know, whatever. There may be some of them out there.
Ladies,
But
let us hear from you.
Awesome.
I know. We want to hear that. But I don't feel like that's the majority. And I think you could maybe get there if you do a little bit of the soft stuff first. Like kind of lean into a little bit more of what she may need in order to get there. That would be my recommendation.
Don't go stampeding towards the clitoris.
Oh, a nice little reminder from
wise-
season 1.
Wise man once said.
Oh my God.
Brad, anything else on your list?
Yeah. And not just sexting, right? Is it just overall flirting, or are we just talking about
Yeah.
sexting?
Could be
Okay.
anything.
Brad, how do you want to be flirted with? Besides me just flashing you.
You mean like via text?
No, I'm
Anything
saying
in person.
anything.
Or text or love letter, whatever.
Pigeon carrier.
Well, I think just the hint that you're attracted to me physically.
Yep.
Like,
That's a good
like
one.
the touching, you know, like a kiss unexpectedly is nice, you know, like just maybe a little grope here and there, you know, maybe a little.
What? Again, we're on a podcast, so like grunts and
You know what I mean.
noises.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, we don't know. You have to be a little bit more specific, sir.
Okay, so I pat your ass today or yesterday. I can't remember when, but I pat your ass recently.
Yeah.
Are you saying you want me to like reach around? What do you want?
Wow, I've never heard of a reach around going that direction, but that's cool.
I enjoy anything that tells me that you're attracted to me. You're physically
100%.
attracted to me.
Okay.
That's what I crave.
Okay.
And I would guess most guys would enjoy knowing that their partner is physically attracted. Obviously, they love them. You love me. But what we're really starved for is like feeling that lust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Which is so interesting to me because women also want to feel wanted. We want the same exact thing. It's just crazy to me that the way you express it is just completely different than the way we express it.
So I think it's the concept of horniness. You see two people that are horny and want each other. It's not something you can kind of force. One partner can't force the other person to want them. It's not something you can manufacture. You may see one partner try to make it happen, but it takes chemistry. It takes attraction. But it gets a whole lot more challenging when a relationship has a lot of history, because
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you've got baggage, you've got real shit, you've got all this stuff that distracts you from the attraction, from the horny, from the wanting. So like you watch these Love is Blind, Temptation Island, you watch all these shows and you know, they're flirting, they've got this, they've got this rapport, and I feel like this is the person for me, but you've only known this person 3 days. There's no
None
history.
of them have lasted. You know that, right?
Yeah, but that's the point. It's like, you know, after 15 years, a lot of times all the baggage, all the things, all the history,
Yeah.
good and bad, kind of get in the way of the attraction, where I think the attraction hopefully is still there. But I think the guys were just wanting that attraction, that initial attraction back. And it's not going to be the exact same, but there used to be a whole level of interest that, or I guess we've kind of alluded to it, that women will try to get the guy and do what she can to make him happy. And then they get married and then, he's mine. They don't have to try anymore. It's that whole thing.
That is not.
But-
Bradley, quit it.
We're not saying any specific wife or partner is that way, but it is a trend that does happen.
I kid.
He's in trouble now.
No,
way.
well, what's your counterpoint to that? I mean, because we're just talking from a guy's perspective.
Ha ha ha.
This is our point of view. What's your point of view?
Laughing is so fun. Just creamed my panties because you are so funny. Oh,
Shut
Brad,
up.
you are so funny.
Stop.
Shut
Sorry.
her up.
Sorry.
Shut
I didn't know she
up.
was listening.
Addy Butt's
my
always
God.
listening.
That bitch. No, okay. Remy. I think
Bring it.
so many men think that exact same way. Oh, once she got a ring on her finger, once she got kids, once she got whatever, now she doesn't try anymore.
Well, don't get distracted by that silly story, because that's what a lot of guys think. But the history
We don't think that.
gets in the way of horny sometimes, because there's so much baggage that can get in the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for all of us. I mean, because it's not like I just met you on Love is Blind or Temptation Island and
yeah.
you're hot, I'm hot, and we're all just flirting and
Right.
life's good.
It's a different relationship.
on
It's a
vacation.
completely different. It's a different dynamic. You can't expect the same dynamic from when we first met each other.
It goes both ways. Like the guys aren't trying like they did when they
Right.
were dating
Absolutely.
either.
Thank you.
Yes, we're aware of this.
Absolutely. Okay.
aware
As
of
long
this.
as
But
you
we're not
guys
to
are
what
aware.
women want yet. We're just on still what guys want. But
That's
I'm
true.
sure we're
That's
going to
true.
get to that, though.
You're
Yeah.
talking to two evolved gentlemen
Evolved.
here. So we're talking about
Yes.
the dumb guys listening
Oh, yeah, it's those
aren't-
guys.
that aren't us.
All right, I've got one that can bridge the gap for
Yes.
for all of us. What if sometimes she slept naked, or we both slept naked? Because then it can be sweet, and you could bond, you could cuddle, but we would still have what we want, just to be near you. That's all we want.
Well, some of us have wives who don't like to sleep naked.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Yep. But if that was extremely important to you, I don't know. I'd at least go topless.
There you go. Get a lot of extra blankets. It's cool.
I like my panties. I emit heat. Who knows? Who knows how hot that bed would get? No, I absolutely think it is a terrible myth that men think that women just stop trying. Now, the unfortunate part is that life just happens, so it probably feels that way. But if you all would like, I say this at work a lot, so I feel weird bringing work into this podcast. But I would like for us all to just assume positive intent here. Okay? Like, can you just assume as a husband that she's doing her best and she knows that she's
Absolutely.
attracted to you because she married you and she wanted to make babies with you and she wants a long-term relationship with you. So assuming that, maybe that helps to make sure that like if she's not flirting in that moment in time, that doesn't mean that it's not happening for her all the time. Like, I don't know, just like taking each moment as it comes in and understanding, hey, not everything is going to be the way I have it in my head, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. It's just, for a guy, like we said, the timetables are different. I mean, if we haven't
Yeah.
had any quality time together in 3 days, man, it feels like a long time. Where for a busy mom, oh, it's only been 3 days. It's that opposite
Yeah.
thing where guys, we're just a little, some of us are more needy. Now, there are other guys
Yeah.
who care less. They don't necessarily need their wives' attention that often.
Yeah.
Or, just maybe just don't have as much of a desire to feel wanted in that way.
Yeah. And I would say for women, it is good for us to remember that if they're asking for sex all the time or pushing for it all the time, I mean, honestly, they still want you. I mean, that's it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to feel wanted and all of that. I think there are times where I'm exhausted and I'm kind of like, ugh, no. And I hate that that's even like, yeah, Brad's even laughing at that reaction. And I'm sorry, but in your head, sometimes that's just, you just need your own personal space. You need to not, you just kind of need to have your own space. But I also have to remind myself that, like, it would be a whole different story if you didn't even try anymore. If you didn't want me, if like that would be a whole different kind of marriage for us. It would be a very short marriage, I'm sure, but I that's what I think is important for us, is that we kind of see a little bit of each other's sides, to know that yes, he may have a higher sex drive than me, and maybe that creates strain sometimes with the marriage because I don't have that same drive, but he finds me attractive and he wants to touch me and he wants to kiss on me and he wants all of these things with me. So I've that doesn't mean that I'm just going to like bend over for him, for you, Brad, but it also just like there is that element of there. I don't know. Am I making sense for men or women?
You make perfect sense. It does make sense. However, I just think there's an element, especially with Brad and I, we've given so much positive reinforcement, flirtation, shown so much interest that it's just so normal. And I think you're so
Yeah.
used to having all that attention where it's not that it's,
We've spoiled you.
yeah,
Yes, Brad says
basically.
that he spoils me. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't know what it's like to not have a guy pursuing you, constantly giving you validation, constantly saying you're the best thing ever. You've had that every day for decades. I don't think you could even relate to a marriage where that doesn't happen. I mean, Reagan's probably the same way.
Very interesting. That is a very interesting concept. Yeah.
Because there are
But
guys who don't do that. They give their partner zero
that's true.
validation, which is, I
All right,
can't
Remy.
understand it.
Next week, no validation all week.
Validation free week. You're on your own.
Oh, you boys are so cute.
Let's see if the panties drop.
See, she's like, you can't even do it if you
you
wanted to.
can't even do it. Y'all are so cute for thinking you can.
All right, let's turn the tables. What is
Okay.
it that women like in terms of flirtation?
Okay. The main two words that come to mind for me for any sort of flirting is sexual tension. I want the sexual tension, and that is very hard to conjure up in a 10-year marriage. But Remy, from what you were just saying, if you were telling me all the time, I love you, you're so hot, you're so amazing, let's have sex, there is zero sexual tension in that. And sometimes yes, women want to be wanted, but we also need a little bit of that push and pull where it's flirtation. I want to feel like it's still new sometimes. And when we've been married for 10 years and you're all, always trying it with me kind of thing, then it's not as
Yeah.
So play hard
exciting.
to get is what you're
A
saying.
little bit of hard to get is kind of fun. Watch any rom-com.
Yes.
Any rom-com
There
has
it
that
is.
sexual tension. So there it is.
It's true.
It is. And that's what I'm watching.
And
That's
it's
what
not that
many of
easy
your
to pull
wives are
off in a
watching.
marriage or a long-term relationship. But you're right, though. I mean,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I'm sorry that we're making you work even harder than you're already working, but let me tell you, if you were to like back off a smidge, and then like there's a little bit of push and pull, there's a little bit of like, hey, I now need to show you when I'm interested. That might be kind of fun for me, because now I'm like, I'm in a different seat, and now I've got someone that I want to pursue, and I have the time to pursue him. And I think giving ourselves that space is quite nice when we're together all the time.
So, Brad, I think she's telling us to take back the power. We've given them the upper hand for way too long. The ball's in our court now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's not getting. You will never get this. You'll never get this.
Okay, honey. Okay.
See, she can't even take you serious.
I
that
know,
you
but
could pull
She
it off.
knows.
but I do know. Like it when he does actually back off, uh, it's not going to be at the frequency that he would want. So if you all couldn't understand that there will be a difference there. There will always be a difference
Oh,
in
we
some
know.
marriages. Yeah. But if you were to back off and give us a little bit of space to like come pursue you, then that's just going to give us a little bit of a different dynamic. It's going to help us remember in our brains that we want to initiate ourselves. I think it's good for the marriage. I think it's good every once in a while to just kind of like take a little bit and then let it ride.
All right, Addy. What else is on your list in terms of what women like?
Yeah, besides sexual tension, I love the physical touch. I mean, when it comes to love languages, I span the gamut. Besides gifts, I don't care as much about gifts, but physical touch, I would love any sort of pat on the butt, touch of the arm, kiss on the cheek or mouth, just having some of that. Even cuddling at night. We don't do much cuddling at night. Brad is better about it than I am to even initiate it. I don't think about it as much, but it's nice when it happens. So any sort of physical touch is great.
The last time I roomed with Brad, he did not initiate at all.
Oh, so sad.
Not even one time. So I guess I'm not
We
as
should
cute.
got that king bed.
All right. I'll step up next time.
Oh, this is what happens on boys trips. Yes. Okay. So physical touch. What is the other one? Quality time. Like the other night in the hot tub when we're talking and he's just letting me kind of open up to him.
Talk,
That's
talk,
great. Yeah,
talk,
the talking is helpful. Shocker that I wanted to be on a podcast. It's
The
just
shocker?
amazing. Not the shocker,
Oh,
honey.
sorry.
That's not part of my flirting. Thank you very much. What are all the other love languages? I swear I span the gamut.
Words of affirmation.
Words
acts
of
of service.
affirmation. Yep. So the words of affirmation is that brings me back to the sexting that I was talking about. So women don't really want like the sexting at first, soft sext, give us a little bit of flirting at first that just like tells us how great we are as a mom or at our work, and then tell us how beautiful we are. That's the kind of thing that will start some of that sext flirtation through text message. So yes, praise. Who doesn't love praise? I think that's great. But yeah, I mean, think about the love languages. I think that's always something that I kind of go back to, but I think we all should when we're thinking about how we can evolve our marriage. But that's kind of how I think about flirting as well. And then, the newness, let's not forget when we met each other, it's very physical, right? We had a great time, and it was, we're hanging out at the pool. I'm in a bikini. We're like in the sun, we're drinking, we're having a good time. Like, that was a lot of our dating life. So if you can kind of take each other back to that dating time, that's also really helpful. So Brad, for my birthday, did a great job, and he got us a little staycation in a couple weeks, and there will be a pool involved. There will be a bikini on my body, and we'll just kind of get to pretend that the kids are not there, and we don't have any care in the world. There's no work. We're taking that day off. So if you can just kind of incorporate little reminders of how y'all were when you were dating, that's really nice. That kind of adds to the flirtation.
So, guys, it's time to try again.
Yes.
If you've stopped trying, definitely.
Isn't it always time to try? That's like the whole point of this, right? Is that we're never going to stop trying. Even when we will never stop talking about sex. We will never stop talking about our relationship. We'll never stop trying, I don't think. I hope.
Well, that certainly brings me to our next bit. We've got a new bit for our listeners. It's called Battle of the Sexes. So we're going to throw this in from time to time and talk about a topic that could be controversial. So tonight's topic: who has it easier in the bedroom, men or women?
Oh my gosh.
Men, 100%. Brad, answer quickly.
Easier at what?
Isn't the answer still men?
No.
Absolutely not. 100% not.
I'm sorry. What is it that's so hard for? Okay, hold on.
Oh
hold
my
on.
God! Have you
Battle of the Sexes is on. It's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Okay, I see where you're going. We're talking about two different things. You're talking about, is it hard for me to come? Is it hard for guys to come? And I'm talking about what we have to perform, like what we have to pull off, what we have to try to do to.
You don't think I'm performing?
Oh shit! The battle is on.
You're talking about your orgasm.
Yeah.
You're talking about what do I have to do to get my orgasm.
Yeah.
And the guy, I'm talking about from a guy's perspective, we're talking about what we have to do to get your orgasm.
What you have to do to get us to orgasm? You don't think that we're working hard at it too?
Well, I think maybe I should stop talking.
No, please. Please. No, I'm very interested in this. I find this insanely bizarre. I was certain that we would have the same answer to this. So I'm honestly shocked.
Remy,
Remy,
your turn.
Let's reframe your question.
No, I want to know Remy's response before he reframes.
So, women certainly have it easier in some respects. Now, listen, and then you can definitely respond. And it may not be like in the way you're thinking.
Obviously.
So, obviously, it's much easier to get the guy to come.
Yes.
Or to do his thing.
Yes.
But that's kind of, I think, where the easiness ends. Generally, the guy is working at it more to make sure that conditions are perfect. And guys, it's the same way. I mean, you can get us off any way you want, a couple different ways that are surefire gonna work for the girl.
Assuming the guy's hard.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
that too.
For the girl,
not a given.
Man, this is not checkers. This is chess. What worked the last time may not work this time. The variables are different. I can't
That's
just
true.
Jump your guy and king me. You're like, well, checkmate, bitch. I'm playing chess, and what you did last time doesn't work, or my mental space is different. I'm not feeling as well. It's not that time of the month, or the hormones are different. Everything is variable with girls. Or, oh, I thought you played music the last time and you didn't play music this time. And it's more complicated. So, guys, we have to figure all that out.
That's true. God damn it.
So it's not easy in terms of, I know your magic button. I can touch it. You're turned on. And then if it doesn't last very long, we're still going to have a good time. No, it's not that easy. We got to figure you out. So it's a puzzle. So for me, I think women have it easier because if you want to, you can get them off and go to sleep if you want to, just like that, because you're good. Guys, maybe if she's mentally there. Thoughts?
Interesting. Yeah. Damn it. I was not going to be convinced otherwise, but you have convinced me. I agree, but we are definitely thinking about this in two very different scenarios.
All right, let's hear your perspective.
The scenario of who is easiest to come in the bedroom and how sex is like just the thing for them, that is for men. Period. The end. They can have sex. They can come. It does not matter how stressed they are. They can still figure it out, no matter whether your wife is into it or not. You can probably push through. Now, women,
but is it
cannot
quality?
Always do that. But does it matter?
Yes.
You say that it matters, but also, like, if you still come, then, like, it cannot always be quality quality A+ every time.
Not every time, but
yeah.
I guess the guy's point of view, our sole mission is to see how turned on we can get you and keep you and make it better for you. I mean, it's why I'm buying toys. It's why I'm trying different things. And I want to make it better for her all the time. Yeah. Where I think girls, we can get them off. It's fine. They don't necessarily have to make it better or try as hard to make it more or different or more interesting, or how can I maximize that pleasure? Because he gets off every time. It doesn't matter.
And how nice for you. Doesn't that make things easier for you in the bedroom?
You see how resentful she is about how easy it is for us to get off.
Hey, we've had this conversation many times.
Sure.
We have.
Before, after, during. I mean, we've had this conversation so many times where I wish I had your drive. I wish I did. Like, how different our marriage would be if I just magically, if both of us, whether it was your drive or my drive, it wouldn't even matter. If we each just had the same exact drive, how different we would experience our sex lives. It would be phenomenal.
It's the dream.
It is the dream, and it is not the reality. That's the problem. And we've talked about this ad nauseum, but the difference
is that girls have given up on that. We're still trying.
We're not giving up on anything. We just don't. It is not the highest priority in our book. That is your highest priority at that moment. That is not our highest priority. That does not mean that we've given up. That is not at all how I see it, at least. I don't see it as giving up by any means. It just means that is not where my focus is at that point. Nor do I think that that's how I have to express my love to my husband, right? Like, there are so many different ways I can express it. Now, if we had the same playing field of how often all of us wanted to have sex, let's say everyone wanted to have sex once a month, okay? Let's just play that game. If we all wanted to have sex at the same time once a month, you better believe you will think your wife is trying, because she'll want it the same time you do. But
True.
That's the problem, is that you want it 50 times in that month and she wants it once a month.
Yeah.
So you're seeing 49 times where she's not trying, in quotes, whereas she's like, I'm just not into it. I'm sorry. I can't
Yeah,
do
and
I
that's her
cannot
truth.
mentally get
So
there. Yes,
we're not
exactly.
judging it. It's just such a
Right.
different experience.
Right.
And that you make great points, especially the 49 and the 1. And it's not that you're
Yeah.
not trying, it's just you're not there.
Right.
And that's what's hard for us.
And that's what's hard for us.
Yes, exactly. It's hard for everybody.
It's hard for all of us. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right,
back
Brad?
to your original question, who's it easier for? What exactly are you referring to?
I think he just wanted us to fight.
I think this was just a healthy time for us to discuss all this particular topic. So yeah, I mean, these are things that it was a question I came up with, and I thought everyone's going to have a very different experience in this question. So I thought it would be a
Yeah.
fun topic to talk about because
I-
clearly it's, as you can see, everybody thinks it means something different. And all right, Brad, you've been very quiet throughout this.
Yeah.
Have I? Remy, how often per month do you think Reagan would have sex if it was up to her? If she could like pick a number?
I mean, for her, I think it would be maybe once a week,
Once a week.
I don't think it is.
maybe. Or for me, I'm like every few
Hey,
days.
don't doubt his.
I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe that's her ratcheting the number up to make me feel good, which is always possible. I mean, it's almost like the body count when you're dating. It's like girls lower it, guys, or guys lower and raise it, and everybody's
Right.
doing something different. Maybe that's her exaggeration, but I think once
Do
a
you
week
say
would probably
that
be her norm
because she's into it like once a week?
if conditions are perfect. Which
See, I
never
don't.
know.
That's the only reason why I say probably not. That it has nothing to do with Reagan. I think it's because if conditions have to be perfect and I come, that doesn't necessarily mean that I have been into it. It means that I could get there. But if you had never initiated, I would have not missed it
right
at all.
And that's what's hard for us because we know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what eats at us because we're like, yeah, if I hadn't have pushed
But
it.
it has nothing to do with you. It
I know.
has everything to do with each of our bodies.
So I guess the question is, how often do you think she actually wants it per month? Or
she needs to be on here and we could actually
year.
hear her. Maybe next time.
Per year. Yeah.
I mean,
We've asked her this question before.
Yeah, we have.
We'd have to go back in the archives. We've asked her this question.
and
But
if we're
let's-
on vacation, it's very different.
Oh,
Summertime
totally. Yeah.
could be fun until she's ready for the kids to go back to school. And then it's a different level of stress.
Yeah.
I think my wife would be fine if I just told her, honey, I'm only going to do it once a month.
I would
now
absolutely
on.
be fine with that. And look at me. I have a sex podcast. Do y'all hear that? Like, that's insane. Is that not insane? Now, I can orgasm more than once a month. I can get myself into it more than once a month. But honestly, if he didn't initiate more than once a month, I'd be fine. I would not. I wouldn't be pressing for it. If I needed it, I'd masturbate. Good God, we have this whole self love podcast about that
Masturbation
too.
May, by the way. So
Do what?
it's May. So it's Masturbation May. So we're supposed to encouraging.
Maybe
I
I'll
thought it
do
was
that.
Mental Health May.
No,
Masturbation
Masturbation May. Way more fun.
Okay.
So listeners, feel free to
It's Remy's version.
take care of some business this month. It's all good.
Oh my God. Okay, but Battle of the Sexes, I think it's kind of funny that we have such different takes on it. But can we all agree that for who it's harder for in the bedroom to get everything prepared, to make it all work, it is harder for men. But who it's harder for in the bedroom to mentally get there, who can make themselves come and all of that, that's for women. I think it's a little
you
bit
just
of both.
added another column to the guys when your previous illustration because the 49 days that we're interested that and you're not, those are 49 very difficult days for us where those are easy days for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
That's
whole
a good
different
point.
level
That's a
of
very good point.
hard
Because
time.
we're like, I'm fine.
Yep.
Y'all take care of yourself. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of funny. I can't even imagine. I just in my brain, it popped into my brain that it. I cannot imagine if I was one of those women who had like multiple husbands. Like how do you deal? I can barely handle this one.
Are there
How?
are there ones that have multiple? I thought it was
Yes.
guys with multiple wives.
Mostly, but you can't just generalize. There's polygamy in all facets.
Are you saying there's a woman out there with multiple husbands?
We had to read a
Like
lot of reverse harem
a
books
male
for
harem
our
For sure.
reverse.
Yes.
erotic fiction books.
Reverse harem. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
I
very-
think that's just in erotic fiction.
I
Are
think
you
it's
saying
mostly,
there's-
I think it does happen some, but it's probably more the other way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Just find me one example. Just one.
fun
I'll
books to
Google it.
read, but yeah, I haven't seen it in real life.
Not
We
in
can-
fiction, but
we
in
can Google
actual.
it. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, our first battle of the sexes. I don't know that we had a clear victor, but hey, it was a fun
draw.
conversation.
I think it was a draw, and that's why we'll have to ask the next guest. Maybe they'll have a different perspective.
Yeah, well, and if listeners have other questions that you think would be good for Battle of the Sexes, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh yeah, but please remember, listeners, this is 2 against 1, so please think about your Addy here. Make sure you're thinking about me.
We can put Addy Butt on your side.
Oh my gosh, she's the worst. Well, that was a fun, flirtatious one where we got some good tips and tricks out of that. But honestly, I feel like we still have a lot of learning to do about each other. So I think we need some of our old guests on. That's what I really want. So maybe in our next one, we can have some of our guests from season 1 to bring it back and give us a little bit more of their updates on how their sex lives are going and how we can learn from each other. I mean, that's what we're here for, and trying to have a good time. So until then, we are wishing all of you the very best of your own suburban sex.